But now it should be live. Yeah, there we go. Okay, was we have Morlockk versus mastertan here. mastertan has been around for ages, and Morlockk also been around for a longer time, and I think he is might be around his peak rating now. He's playing a lot lately, and he's improving as well. So we'll have an interesting match on hands. mastertan opened this first game with b4 and a3. He's trying to play something a little bit offbeat and just try to get into a game where maybe he can use his experience. And Morlockk seems to be doing okay so far in this game. Just to make a decision here. If you go back, I think trade and knight takes g4 and h5 could be an idea. Could also do this without. Yeah, he's doing it without. Hey, Jan Lee, thank you very much for tuning in. It's gonna be a good one, I think. It will, even though this record is heavily in favor of mastertan, Morlockk might be the favorite actually. Just because he's playing a lot. And Morlock's trying to go knight takes g2 and then use the fact that the queen is on e2 so he can get some forks. And this bishop e6 move is very nicely lined up to help that attack going. So some problems to solve here for mastertan. And he's taking his time for this. Well, what are you gonna do here? Okay, he's going after c7. Knight takes g2 and f3. Okay. But then you just lost a pawn as white. And you spend a lot of time, so that's problematic. Ooh, f5 was maybe worth a shot. He's looking for f5 anyway. But maybe you could have given up everything and... Nah, probably not. The king is always safe here on f8. And now just a move like bishop takes b5. He allowed f5. And the rook now is open, so the king isn't as safe on f8 anymore as before. He allowed some counterplay with taking here. If you go here, then this nice little pawn block is guarding these lines, and in this position suddenly he needed a new pawn there. Yeah, now now 95, king f8. Maybe it's still good. Yeah, I guess it's still good enough. It was just There was nothing probably, but it's just a matter of style. Oh, mouse slip and pre-move. Lol. You want a knight of 2 smothered mate, master 10 pre-moved, or just gave him the game? We'll never know. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna see Morlockk sacrificing on f7 in a lot of lines. Yeah, and with the addition of h6, it's gonna be hard. Hey, Bugday. I think Morlockk will win this, but wouldn't be surprised if Master 10 wins. And when is Clearcast versus the Finisher? Good question. We've started. I've proposed some dates for next week, and he said he will get back to me. So I think we will play in the coming 7 days somewhere. So maybe I should start preparing. And even if I prepare, then still it will be hard. Big match, yeah. Thanks. Yeah, you can. Here you see black is a pawn, has a pawn down, but he has the piece. Whereas white has the more sound piece placement. King is relatively okay. You have to watch out for ideas like this and this. Only about 4 years advantage, yeah, exactly. I'll use these games as preparation. Maybe I'll just copy Master 10's openings. I don't know if this is quick enough. Maybe knight b3 could be a move. Ideas here are so scary. So pawn at h6 maybe. To go bishop takes g6. Okay, queen f3. I think we're gonna see block and then maybe push d5, but then e5 hangs. What is his idea here? g4? He's just taking, okay. And at d5 and then push e6. King can go back. It should be okay on these squares. Hey, see you later. Have a good dinner. And you can see that now the rook sometimes is gonna hurt here on the back rank for white. So bishop at g4 I like. You got this rook coming up. He's looking for knight takes g6. But king g7 is the response. Maybe. Yeah, I think if you drop now, he's just gonna play king here. And then you have to worry about queen f7, so maybe try to find something else. Ah, okay. But what if just king up? Maybe he was taking the rook and... Okay, I missed this. Take the rook and then promote the queen. Knight takes e5 gives him a pawn and temporarily cover this. But isn't he dropping something now? Knight takes king g7. I think if knight takes king here, then pawn f7 is good. Alright, thanks for the follow. King here. Oh, wow. b1 queen, I think. Or c1 queen. Also possible. I mean, you have this queen lined up. I don't know about rook d3. b1 queen now could be a move. He's just covering the pawn first. Rook g3 maybe. Could take the queen. But then you gotta remember it's a pawn, so you won't get it here. It will only become a pawn. Yeah, that was hanging. Morlockk missed this. These are the queens. Hard to keep track, another queen. Yeah, and king h7 or whatever, take. This is hard to guard. And king takes d2, queen takes d2 should also be enough. And knight comes to e4 and look at all these pieces. Rook c1 made in one. Rook c1 still made in one. He had two rooks. Alright, so 1-all. I think Morlockk maybe missed pawn at h6. Well, Mr. Bogday, that's a good question. I think I should try to avoid too much. And on the other hand, also just play some lines that are decent for both sides. I don't think I should overcompensate and just go offbeat. But we'll see. Shouldn't give out all my secrets, of course. I think bishop at g5 was just missed. By a Morlockk, and he just lost a piece there. So he decided to give up the queen to make it a little less worse. And are we gonna see knight takes f7? No, just rook takes. Mate in 1 is threatened. So bishop at e2 should be probably. Then he covers the mate like this. Then knight e4. Yeah. And knight takes g2. It's just going queen trades. I like this as well. Remember, this is a pin, so you cannot take it. Takes the knight in between, so he forces king takes or another defensive move. And let's say if you play bishop d7, then you can maybe play knight f6, knight g6, knight g7, forcing king takes, and then queen d6 is nice. A little bit careful here how to guard. He just takes. Queen g5 could be a move. But queen f6 just guards. Do I think if Crazy House helps improve tactics? I think it can help improve your calculation, yeah, because you have to calculate forcing lines sometimes, and they are a lot harder than chess, because you have to take into account the drops of pieces in between. So I think it helps, or it can help a little. I mean, it's just another way of training your brain. On the other hand, it can also lead to calculating Crazy House tactics in chess games, and then it's of course not helping a lot. I think he's looking for queen e5 here, and if knight e6 to guard, then pawn d6 to continue the attack. Yeah, you gotta blockade. King f8 loses to rook at d8. Okay, and now he's looking at the fork. But what if just bishop here? I don't know if this is good. We'll see. Knight takes f5. I was thinking knight takes f5 because then in some lines, if king f8, you can take here. Play rook d8, knight takes, pawn e7, and then maybe there was some weird mate, but okay. Game continues. And now we sort of see the same position. He could move again, I guess. Do something with... Yeah, now we have this position, but he's a tempo down on the position I was referring to earlier. But still, it's very tricky. I mean, if rook d8, then pawn g7. So I think we could have already had this position over here if he took on f5, and if king e8, then pawn b7 was nice. But okay, pawn d2. If you take with the rook, he's gonna hit you with queen c1 and then uses two queens. And now the king is out in the open. we got some coverage going on. He just can take the knight, and I think he's winning. Yeah, throwing in a few checks, but knight at d5 is hard to stop, as well as knight d5, queen takes f2. Lots of options here for black, and he is completely safe. Hey, thanks for following Man Woman TV Camera. Small chance to run. Not anymore. Knight a5 now. Morlockk takes it. Was interesting. I'll have a brief look if Morlockk is gonna sacrifice on f7. Almost always. It's an interesting position to see if this worked. So bishop f6, and I was, if king f8, maybe king e8 is better, but king f8, this, rook d8. Of course, not all forced, but this would have been a nice line. To just give you an idea why I was thinking he should have done knight takes f5. But okay, let's go to the game. Usually, yeah, he's playing bishop c5, gives up the material to get a safe position. And now it's actually white who started sacrificing his up material. And but black has the development in return. You see this pawn is blocking the bishop, this knight is not developed yet, so you could say black is doing fine after the opening. His king is a little airy, but you can see bishop pawn h3 coming, e4 is hanging, so white usually has to solve some problems, whereas black is doing okay. Yeah, maybe we're gonna see this. Ignore this for a moment. Bishop f3, queen g6. This bishop hangs though, so I'm not sure if I like how he did this. Bishop f3 looks very logical to me. Okay, you can play this in between. If you take, there's knight g5, so that's why he played king f8. Yeah, it does, Oleg. But Morlockk plays that a lot, and he has success with it, so he'll be happy to play it. Yeah, this might be king h1, this might be mate. With bishop takes h3. But then again, the king might be safe on h4. At d2. Okay, okay. Black always winning. Thanks for clarifying. Just like Morlockk eventually did in the game at d2. Makes sense. Yeah, here these squares are some weaknesses. Knight at g6, and the knight comes here. We check. Queen is hanging, bishop is hanging. So knight at g6 is forcing line, but just taking the bishop shouldn't be bad as well. Yeah, this is gonna be the counter, but this is a tough decision. Do you go rook d1, allow pawn d2, and just take, and then go after, or do you go for knight at e6 now, or just this knight to e6? It requires some calculation. He's going for defense. This is not working yet. I was thinking maybe queen g5 somehow. Pick this up, maybe knight f3 ideas. The problem with queen here or here is that it always is vulnerable to forks. But with this bishop like this, then a knight on f3 can hurt as well. So that's why I'm looking to take a knight with queen g5 and then hope I'm safe. Morlockk suggesting queen f3, whereas also looking to checkmate on h1. But then if you force the king to f7, there might be some knight checks. Watch your time. Rook g5. Take knight. Knight f3 is the idea. King here, queen g1. And the two queens join forces to give checkmate, since knight is covering a retreat. And probably also queen takes f2 is dangerous. Yeah, he takes the knight. Knight e6, king f8. I think mastertan has defended this. He needs to find checkmate with a couple of seconds, but don't think he'll have many problems with that. He sort of does. But okay, he's creating enough threats that he can check with defense with like this. Ooh, knight g5, bishop takes h7. Bishop b3. Nice. Yeah. Morlockk. Too good there in time scramble. Hey JJ Lai, thanks for following. Tense game. It was hard to follow or to figure out in the dying seconds, but Morlockk takes it. I think mastertan missed his chances there, definitely. Defended nicely, and then all of a sudden he got overrun. Yeah, this is definitely the way to go versus this. Quick d5. Morlock gives up the piece, and white is just up a piece for a pawn. But he has this very strong pawn center that he might start pushing on later. Problem is with all those knights, he's giving up squares. So I'd be happy if I was Master 10 here. c5. You could go for knight c6 here. Take, take, take. And if he moves the queen, you take the bishop. But knight f3 is sound, and nothing wrong with that. Knight at c6. Knight c6 is just complicating matters unnecessarily. So what should you do? Maybe just bring this knight back at the right moment. It's giving up this pawn. Probably so he can get tempo for knight c4 and then e5. Or just e5 immediately. White is looking to go after h6, whereas white is now covering f7 some more. Okay. Don't really know about this decision. I think you can just take and take this. Oh, he's just giving the rook. Queen g4, Queen g3 was there. Maybe it was worried. I'd be looking at g5 in these moments. Somehow you want to lure the queen here and then use the back rank. Allowing this, I don't know. At g5 also threaten this knight, and then you can take on d7. Doesn't matter if it's covered, he'll take anyway. Okay. Trying to lure away the pieces so he can go at h6 at g7. Yeah, Morlock was very strong last game in the time scramble. I agree. So here you can see black has this nice defensive setup with this bishop. This knight can return to f8 if the back rank needs guarding. And on the other hand, this queen is hanging, rook is hanging. You could take the rook here and then the queen. It's almost checkmate already. Ooh, he allowed knight at f6. But he has, if you take, he is looking for knight e2, queen g1, rook takes, knight takes f2. But I think he missed bishop takes, king here, bishop h8. I think he missed this move. And that's crucial move. Here, knight g8 mate. And here you can take the queen with check. He was looking for the cheapo mate maybe, but maybe not, but just missed this knight at f6 move. But bishop at h8 is crucial. Because now again bishop e8, luring the queen, king back to mate with the queen. And it's mate in one if the king moves up. So here's the only way to prolong the game longer than one move. Nice win for mastertan there. I don't think he played the middle game that good, but somehow Morlockk went wrong. Okay, going for Sicilian. Knights. The knights are not out yet, so this could be solid for black. Of course. Morlockk is going knight g5. He wants to take on f7. What else is new? Yeah, it's tricky though. Queen h5. g6. That leaves this open for a pawn. g6, knight takes f7. Interesting. And what Upper says also, yeah, you go castles after earlier knight takes g5 and you play f4 and you have chances enough. You had to block. If you move the king, then pawn at g7 kills you. Yeah, this is a classic trick to win back the piece, and 2 pieces for the queen. That's most of the time just good for the piece. Maybe he's even taking on a6 to go pawn at f7. Ah no, okay. Thanks for the follow, Safe King. Good handle for Crazy House. Yeah, he took the pawn to get at g7, but the bishop is already there. So I don't know. I feel like white is lacking some development, but he will get the rook, and then again black's pieces are also not that brilliant, and he doesn't seem to have any attack going on just yet. Somehow you need some defensive move, I guess he's thinking on. This is such a problem, square e6. Okay, queen h4, looking to get rid of one of these pieces. Rook c8 might be too slow. Yeah, watch out for rook f8 in this particular position. Takes the bishop in between. May have been some problems taking queen at e6, for example. And now he's saying, yeah, he lacks a little bit of material, otherwise he could have tried maybe for rook f8 and queen f7. Rook e8. King d7. King d7 is losing to bishop e6. Yeah, he missed that. He had to go king c7. Give up the two pieces for the rook. Because now it's so many mates threatened, it's hard to deal with all of them. Yeah. Nice game by Morlockk. This is why he's really good with little pieces and those positions where he sacrificed material early on to disrupt the game. Okay, we're gonna see the same, but now the bishop comes back, and ooh, bishop takes f7 here already. Just knight g5 first. Castles, knight takes f7, rook takes pawn at e6. Black has a nice pawn defense, but he has just no mobility at the moment. So will be interesting to see how he breaks free. Okay, he tries d5, and mastertan plays bishop d3. In general, you don't want to trade here because it opens up black's bishops. You just want to keep his bishop looking at pawns. Yeah, takes, or maybe knight takes h7, somewhere in between. Or just knight takes e4, of course, but I like knight takes h7. The queen can come. He has to do something about this knight, because pawn h7, rook g8 is a mating threat. Doesn't matter where the king goes. It looks risky. I think in a lot of lines, if he takes knight at g5 is winning the queen. Here maybe start with queen h5. Funny thing is bishop at g6 isn't working because you take the bishop. Ooh. He went for it anyway. You can take the bishop here. And knight at f7 picks up the queen again. But maybe it improves black's. Yeah, I was missing this. I was thinking rook h8 before, and then I thought, okay, the king can go to g8, but the king cannot go to g8. Yeah, this is why queen takes g6. Not to pick up the queen, just to have mate. Four-three. With four white wins in a row. Let's see if Morlockk can keep it up. Going to Scandinavian here. Queen safe on d5 for the moment. And bishop b4, annoying pin. Sometimes you wanna, pawn at c4. Queen e4 is an annoying move. Bishop here as well, because you're almost forced to give up the pawn if you want to. Bishop d2, pawn g4 takes. Or you can go for this, allow him to take the rook. You gotta play sharp here as white to get an advantage, I think. Yeah, queen not entirely trapped. Bishop here, the queen can go to b6. And then c5 traps the queen. So yeah, queen is gonna be trapped. But of course, black can make a move here that will give him some material back, as pawn at b2, for example. I think white should ignore. If rook b1, pawn a2, rook takes b2, queen takes b2, bishop takes b2, rook at b1, I think is annoying. So yeah, just do it like this. Take back with the queen or bishop. Don't think it matters too much. And play d5, yeah. Very nice. With the queen here, then also bishop g5 could have been interesting, but here you have a nice battery lined up, so both are strong, good options. And this is gonna be an advantage for white, I think. Pawn at f6 takes knight h5, for example. Possible continuation. I don't think he's gonna save the knight. I think he's gonna guard g7. A check like rook e4 is probably not helping. Bishop e2 is a possible move. Or just blockade with the pawn. And mastertan did it before. This is a tough position, so he should think, but he shouldn't let his time run down to 10 seconds like he did in previous games. Because Morlockk is quick and he will exploit that and keep the pressure on. Yeah, so at f6 finally. And now takes and knight at h5. Looks very logical. You can also try to go for one more pawn and then play pawn at b7 and pawn at d7, so you can go for knight e5. It's also a different idea. He's trying to disrupt this, not with knight h5, but with pawn h6. Also works. if knight takes, bishop takes, and it's opened. I think now, yeah, he's trying a knight f5. This bishop is very nice. I think, yeah, if takes takes, rook on the back rank, you just block here, and you have to deal with checkmate first. So now queen at d8 or e7 is coming, as well as queen takes g7, as well as queen takes f7 and knight e5. So it's looks like mate soon. Yeah, queen takes f7, mate. But queen takes g7, safe choice as well. We'll see which. This is nice for Morlockk. He is a minute up, more than a minute up on the clock. He can take some time here to calculate a checkmate. Yeah, he played queen takes e7. If you take queen at g5 is mate, and he's luring the king out. It's gonna be mate. Next move, queen somewhere. So Morlockk needs one more game, and then he is through to the next round and knocking out mastertan. Okay, but let's not rule out mastertan. He still has good chances. Losers bracket, young boy Chark. If you have the link on hand, you can feel free to share the link with the path to candidates visualization. Alright, Morlockk switched up the opening and he got his nice bishops. I think he should be happy. You're not taking on e4 here, it's just too much. So that knight on e4 is looking really nice. Yeah, you gotta go after the bishops. Either one. They're gonna be too strong. Looking at f3 in particular. Yeah, that one as well, young boy, but young boy Chark, but I think Legion did this. I'm not sure who did this. I think Legion. But they made this easy spreadsheet where it's easier to see who is already in the candidates and who you need to beat next. So you don't have to scroll around the whole bracket. Okay, 3 knights. Can you do something with that? Knight h4, queen g4. G7 is hanging, and this is hanging, and this is hanging. Good luck. Taking the bishop, not the queen. He wants the initiative. h5 was coming anyway, so what are you gonna do with h5? Abandon ship with queen a4. Knight takes g2 is coming for sure, but knight takes g2 is coming wherever you move the queen, except if you go here, then maybe knight at f4 or something first. Or knight takes e5 is a move. Maybe. I would probably play knight at f4 here to keep the pressure. It attacks the queen. It also guards e6, which is useful in some cases, as white is probably playing bishop at d7 soon. But he decides to take e5, covers e7. I was a little bit reluctant to play this because of bishop g5. Pawn at g4, queen takes h4, knight at f3, king h1, knight takes, bishop takes queen, and I was thinking white is okay there, but we'll see. That seems like a very likely line to happen. Bishop at g5. But let's see what mastertan thinks. Maybe pawn at e2 is a nice disruptive move in between. All kinds of stuff to think about. Pawn e2, bishop e3 maybe. Ah yeah, thanks. Okay, I'll make that. Yeah, so bishop at e3, I don't know. E2. Because now there's no counterplay. You were gonna lose material. You were gonna allow trades. So that's why I went bishop at g5. And knight at f3 is happening. Also there. Yeah. Okay. So maybe it was wrong. Thanks, Oleg, for pointing it out. Yeah. Queen h4. GG. Oh, knight takes, and this. There is now some bishop at d7. King f8. Knight takes e6. Takes knight at g6. Be careful. Knight e7. That's not a move that is gonna work. Too bad. Maybe it was something else here. Good luck, or congrats, I should say. Morlockk just won the match. Very, very well done. I was looking for a way to save this. This maybe. It's also interesting. It's been a good run. mastertan said, yeah. He made a lot of candidates, all of them, before this. And earlier, 17 knight takes e6. I was saying this, but strongly pointed out knight f3 is enough. Something had to happen here. Knight takes e6, I guess. Yeah. Strong play by Morlockk, and next he faces Burbcow. And well, and he faces Fumitox, Garnek, or Antic after that. So Morlockk has a very decent chance to make the candidates now. This was a big win. Every win is gonna be big from this point onwards, but he will have a good chance to make candidates for sure. I think I updated the command. Okay, let's try. Yeah, there you go. So there you can see who is still winning, or who's already candidates and who still has to get another couple wins. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed the stream. I'm gonna do some probably take a walk or whatever. I have to do something outside. Have a good day, and I hope to see you next time. I don't know when. Monday probably for sure, but maybe earlier. We'll see. Have a good one.